The low IQ meathead doesn't even know what muscle groups are in the back. He uses horrible technique and no range of motion. He might tell you something like, yeah bro, deadlifts build your back. When he's doing his dumbbell rows, it looks like he's trying to start a lawnmower and not train his lats. The intellectual chat actually knows what muscles he's targeting with his exercises. He uses proper technique and doesn't just ego lift 50 kilo dumbbells on rows. His back looks like a Dorito because he's been training it for years now with consistency and effective technique. You know who you wanna be like. That's why today I'm making this no bullshit guide to pull day. I've got no fancy exercises and new trends to make you buy my program or whatever. I'm just telling you the cold hard facts of what's an optimal pull day and what I've learned over my experience going to the gym and educating myself. I'll explain to you exactly why everything is set up the way it is, so that when your idiot friends in the gym ask you, why are you doing that exercise, why are you doing this, you don't just say like, I saw Arnold do it, so must be good, right? That's not an answer, yeah? Once you watch this video and implement the stuff I'm telling you here, you can tell them exactly why you're doing your stuff, and they're gonna be amazed. They're gonna be like, wow, he's superior, he knows his stuff. So before we get into it, I just want to make a few things clear. Now, as I mentioned in the intro, there's this idea that your deadlifts or your rack pulls are gonna build your back. Now, as you might have noticed in the videos where people claim this, they can't bring any reasons for this. They don't know why. Yeah, I tried it, it built my back. That's fucking anecdotal, bro. Like, there's not evidence. So when we think about it, let's just look at some biomechanics, right? I don't want to bore you with any studies or whatever. Just look at the facts, right? What muscles do we have in our back? We have the lats, rhomboids, traps, and the rear delts, right? That's pretty much it. Those are the most important back muscles. And we also have the erectors. So let's think about it. Which of these muscles are the most important? Obviously the lats for the width, then the traps and rhomboids for the depth, and the rear delts as well. The erectors aren't really all that important. They're mostly for stabilizing. Now what does the deadlift train? Which of these muscles range of motion, which of these muscles function does the deadlift do? The lats, their function is to pull the arm into the body, out front, or from the side. This is the function of the lat. Does the deadlift do any of that? No. Your rhomboids, they arch your shoulders back, right? When you're doing your T-bar rows, they arch your shoulders back, push your chest out. Only really happening isometrically on the deadlift, no real range of motion. Similar to the rear delts, they bring your arm backward. Not happening on deadlift. The only muscle that has worked somewhat on deadlift are the erectors. And there are still much better exercises for them. So whenever people tell you that deadlifts build your back, just think about it a little bit. Like, you wouldn't say, yeah, I train my biceps by holding a dumbbell in front of me. That's gonna build my biceps. What? But that's the exact same thing. All your back muscles are worked isometrically in the deadlift. And it's been shown that isometric exercises don't build your muscles. You have to go through range of motion. Now another thing I want to get straight off the bat is there are different parts of the lat. Now that might come as a shocker. In this video we're gonna talk about exercises that target specific parts of the lat. Most people, they're just like, yeah, I'm training back, so there are lats, upper back, As I said, don't know the muscle groups. Just like the chest, that has upper chest, middle chest, lower chest, you have the lat. Upper lat, middle lat, lower lat. If you don't know this, I'm gonna tell you here, this is really important for training your lat. You would never say, I'm just gonna do bench press, build the whole chest. You're missing incline, you're missing dips, whatever. So with the lats, it's the same thing. You wanna focus them in all the different divisions that there are. I can't believe that for a muscle that's arguably much more important for your aesthetic, right? Your lat is like vital for the V-taper that you want. For a muscle that important, people still don't know that there are different divisions of the lat. People still train the lat in stupid ways, still just do rows, whatever, just don't understand how it works. So this is like one of the main takeaways from this video. There's more to training lats than just doing your rows, doing your lat pull-downs. First exercise, the T-bar row. With this exercise, we're targeting mostly the rear delts, but also the upper back, so the traps and rhomboids. You really want to round your back as much as possible to get the deepest stretch on the traps and rhomboids as possible. And take a pause in the stretch position. As you're coming up, you want to think about pinching your shoulder blades to really get a nice contraction on the upper back musculature. Once you hit failure on this exercise and you can't come up into a full contraction on the targeted muscles, you want to go over to doing kelso shrugs, as you can see me doing in the video. So I'm just keeping my arms straight and shrugging the weight up. This will finish off the upper back musculature and really bring them to the true local muscular failure. This way we first target the rear delts, as we have our arms at a 45-degree angle on this exercise. And once they are completely fatigued, we move over to completely finishing off the traps and rhomboids, so the upper back musculature. So with this exercise, we have the whole upper back covered. Exercise number 2, the unilateral bench supported lat high row. This exercise mostly targets the upper division of the lats, but it also places a lot of stress on the lower divisions of the lats in the lengthened position, so in the very top of the movement. To accentuate this stretch and really focus on the lower lats, which are in my opinion the most important part of the lat, you want to lean away, turn away your upper body from the working arm to really emphasize the stretch. You also want to think about not moving your shoulder blades. A lot of people I see in the gym, when they're doing their lat exercises, also bring up their shoulder blades very far and arch their back, thinking they're gonna get a better stretch, but you're only gonna be stretching your upper back musculature, not your lats, because your lats attach at the arm. So you should only focus on the arm's range of motion. Accentuating the stretch, we are already doing that by turning away our body, so really keep your shoulder blades fixed in position to really place the most focus on the lats. You want to think about pulling your elbow to your waist in an arcing motion and stopping there and not pulling your elbow past your upper body, as this is where the lats range of motion ends. Exercise number 3, the unilateral lat row. This exercise targets the middle lat fibers. Similar to the previous exercise, you really want to focus on keeping your shoulder blades fixed in position. Arching your back, as we discussed, will disadvantage your lats, and it doesn't provide a greater stretch. There's not much else to say on this exercise, and it's pretty much the same exercise as the unilateral lat high row, just performed at a different cable angle to focus a different part of the lat. Exercise number 4, the upper back pull down. With this exercise, we're targeting the upper back, as you can tell from the name, but also the teres major. The lat is also involved. On this exercise, you want to grip just outside shoulder width. I personally grab the bar slightly inside of the point where it arches downwards. This is what's preferred for me and probably for most people. On this exercise, as opposed to the previous 2 lat exercises, you really want to think about arching your back and sticking your chest outwards, as we're training the upper back musculature, not the lats. This is the main thing that separates lat movements from upper back movements, the difference in what happens with your shoulder blades, whether they're arched or rounded. You can lean back slightly on the concentric portion, but don't do the full like leaning back and lifting the weights with your lower back and doing the cheating movements. That's just unnecessary. Exercise number 5, we have the preacher curl. This exercise targets the short head of the biceps. You really want to make sure that the machine you're using has the highest amount of resistance in the mid to short position, as this is what we are trying to focus here. This will also correlate with the bicep strength curve, as it is strongest in the mid position, and this is always what we want on our exercises. Just make sure that your elbow is at the axis of the machine and that your body is stable, and then you can't really do anything wrong on this exercise. Exercise number 6, the hammer curls. Here we're targeting the brachialis. I prefer using cables for this, but dumbbells are also fine. On this exercise, your main focus should really just be on not moving your upper arms excessively, like forward or backward. You really want to keep everything very stable, and that's pretty much it. So that was the pull day I've been doing, guys. If you do this pull day, you're basically gonna be set. This pretty much covers everything you wanna train on your pull day. So if you do this, you're pretty much set. So try this out in your next session in the gym. If you found this video helpful, please leave a like and subscribe for more content. And if you have any questions, leave it in the comments.